Okay, imagine this. You're trying to put up your 80-inch television onto the wall, but you really can't do it alone because they're big and awkward. So you call one of your friends and you're like, hey, can you come over and help me hang this television set? They ask, well, there'll be beer and game at the, afterwards. And you tell, yeah, that sounds great. So they come over, they help you hang the TV, and then you watch the football game and drink beers. What you have done without really knowingly is that you hired someone, your friend, to help you do a task, your job, in which you compensated a paycheck equivalent with beer in the football game. So how did you treat them during that? You were pretty nice to them, you were pretty accommodating to them, you listened to their inputs and their suggestions. So why is that any different than when you hire someone to work with you at your job? Essentially, when you hire somebody, you're asking them to help you do your job, just like your position helps you do your boss's job. We're taught in the Marine Corps, know your job 2 levels up so that you're able to anticipate or to be able to think for the bosses of what perception you have lower than that they can see. This is where now leadership and management come in play. You were hired for your management skills. You were hired to be able to complete a task. If you remember this video, we talked about the differences between leadership skills and management skills and what they have in common and the skills they have in common with each other. You got hired for your management skills. That means the ability to complete the tasks that are asked of you. So that skills works for the people above you. Does management skills work for the people below you? Not really. Not if you want to be more effective. You can be the slave driver, but it really doesn't keep people there long. They tend to find a different place to go. And the ones that do stick are the ones that really cannot get jobs anywhere else. I have found that this setup has made many managers and many business owners successful. So check this out. Most times when we think of being the manager, we think of a hierarchy of I'm in charge of 3 people who are in charge of taking care of 4 customers each. That's your traditional hierarchy. But what if we changed it a bit? We change it to makes it more a unifying team. Not that you are in charge of 3 people or 3 employees, but think of it this way. You're in charge of taking care of these 12 customers with the help of these 3 employees. Now, it allows everyone to feel like they're part of the team, that they all have the ability to work with each other, not to be siloed off, not to be competing to outdo each other. Now they think of how you are not so unapproachable either because you're the boss. But by seeing them being part of the solution, now they really want to be part. Now they really want to help you out. Try that and see how that works in your industry. So it's a matter that you want the right people, the great people, people that will stick with you, but also that will do above and beyond what is in the job description. How do you get those right people that go above and beyond the job description work for you? And that's where your leadership skills come into play. So by building that team through your ability to be a leader, to using those different skills of communication, inspiration, motivation, those things that allow people to rise to the occasion, that make them believe in themselves when they don't believe in themselves. That's your job as a leader. Does that work towards your bosses? Sometimes. And let me explain. So when I was in the Purple Foxes as the aircraft maintenance officer, I had a challenge of trying to get all 12 aircraft working. When I took over, we could only get 1 aircraft working, and it was just disheartening that we could not fill a flight schedule without everything not working correctly, without having the supplies. So I sat down with my team and I asked, what do we need to be successful? And I put those all together. And I had to think like my boss and my boss's boss, because they were the approving authority for this plan. But not only just those 2, but also my peers, the people that work beside me, who are in charge of their different divisions. It impacts their ability to do their job. So I had to essentially lead laterally to my peers and then to my bosses. And I had to show them through leadership how this plan, not a perfect plan, but a good compromising plan that allowed us to be able to rebuild our structure and then provide a promise to the future that this plan will have this type of payoff, the ROI, the return on investment. So sitting there with my peers, my boss and my boss's boss, I laid out a plan on how we would shut down flight operations for 2 weeks, be able to let the supply system catch up, rebuild the aircraft, test the aircraft properly, and then by the time we were done with those 2 weeks, we would be able to fly 3 times the planned missions that we didn't expect to do. And because of the way my leadership worked, it paid off, in which we did in 2 weeks accomplish that mission. We got those 12 aircraft working. We started making flight schedules that were robust, and we had our boss and our boss's boss happy with the production we were putting out, because they knew the plan that I was providing them was sound and was in an environment for my people to succeed. And in doing so, that created an environment greater than our little cosmopolitan to the greater squadron, so the whole squadron can be successful. And doing so, our squadron's practice allowed us to support other squadrons to allow them to be successful. And that was the importance of leading parallel and above. So now let's tie this all in together. We talked about leadership. We talked about leadership to people below and also leadership to the people beside you and above you. So how does this work with your management? Like I say, you're hired for your managerial skills, which means gets the results. So essentially, by having a team that believes in your mission, in your vision of how you're going to want to accomplish these tasks, get the results, these desired results that your bosses are looking for, you need to inspire the people to come with you. So by inspiring people along the way, they're now driven to the same effort that you have to make those results. You will always see this diagram whenever I talk about leadership and management. This diagram changed my life because it helped me understand where I failed and where I was successful. And I want you to be successful. And I know I always tell you that success comes from failure. But how about if I can eliminate certain failures that I've already gone through so you don't have to go through them? And believe me, it'll be amazing how much more achievement you accomplish when you springboard off of what I'm teaching you. It's not a matter of being perfect. It's a matter of having a sustainable course of action. By having a sustainable course of action, your people, your peers, and your bosses will be able to be aligned on the same path to be able to endure and continually operate in the process that you've provided. How else can I help you? If you look at the description below, you'll see that there's a website. Go onto my website and make that free consultation call with me, and where I can help you, your leadership team, and your organization be able to find the answers that you need to be successful. And not only be successful, but to thrive in this uncertain time in our world. I'm Eric with Leadership Developed. If you like this video, hey, give us a thumbs up. If you missed last week's video, check it out right over here. It talks about math and leadership. It's really cool about these simple things that you can use to motivate your people. And if you met any of these videos, it's probably something you haven't seen yet, and I would love for you to take a look at. We'll talk to you again next week.